Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Every year, ESPN does this feature that they run, where they have executives and coaches and scouts rank the top 10 in the NFL at every position. And they started with running backs, and naturally I was going to be interested in this because of Alvin Kamara. Kamara has seen a downturn in his career. There's no doubt about that, but he has at different points been featured very highly on this list. I will not bury the lead. There are 10 players mentioned, and then after that, the honorable mention, the sort of also receiving votes, and Alvin Kamara is the fifth or the sixth among those also receiving votes. The write-up reads, Kamara has been a fixture in the top 10, ranking as high as number 2 in 2021. But Kamara's production has been less efficient in recent seasons. He's averaged 3.87 yards per carry since 2021. Ew. That's good enough for 830 yards a season. Quote, he might have hit a wall a little bit, an NFL running back coach said. Quote, he's still a great all-purpose back and can run all the different schemes, has burst in contact, but the production hasn't been there. Though I think offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak's system will be really good for him. Just to run through the list, here's the top 10. Again, this is not my opinion. It's not ESPN. It's not PFA. They've asked coaches and execs and scouts all their opinion. They've let them take a blind survey, list your top 10 running backs, and then they average out the grades. Number 1 is Christian McCaffrey, followed by Breece Hall, Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley 4, Jonathan Taylor 5, Bijan Robinson 6, Josh Jacobs, now with the Packers, 7. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8. Derrick Henry, 9. Travis Etienne, 10. The honorable mention, Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, Isaac Pacheco, James Cook, Kamara, Joe Mixon, and DeAndre Swift. So that's your list. Those are all the running backs that got votes. Kamara outside of the top 10. Actually, by the order here, he would be 15th on this list. I think the single biggest question for the Saints offense in 2024 is if Clint Kubiak can revive Alvin Kamara the way he did Christian McCaffrey in San Francisco. Now, I understand. Let me clarify this. I understand that the Saints offensive line is in shambles. It is a gigantic mystery and may not be good at all. So I understand we're all going into camp thinking, look, understand there are 3 starting spots on that offensive line up for grabs. That is a massive question, maybe the biggest one on the entire team. But when you look in total at how all those dominoes may fall, ultimately what it comes down to is it should relate to the production of Alvin Kamara. And that's so significant because you gave Alvin Kamara this 5-year, $75 million contract. We all know they can off-ramp after this season, which is likely what they're going to do. So unless if he has this big revival, this should be Alvin Kamara's last season in New Orleans. And if you're going to get this offense going, really one of the fulcrums to that is Kamara, is the running back, as we've seen with the way Clint Kubiak's offense operates. And if your rushing offense is going well, it takes pressure off of your quarterback and your passing offense. So all of that is going to be huge. Remember, Christian McCaffrey, his real issue early in his career, or I guess not early in the career, in this middle part of the career when he started to slump, the real issue for McCaffrey was health. You know, during his first 3 seasons, McCaffrey played 16 games in 17, 18, 19. Then in the COVID year, he played in just 3 games. And then in 2021, he played in just 7. And then he gets traded midway through 2022, and he combined to play an entire season. 6 with Carolina, 11 with San Francisco. And then last year in San Francisco, he had his first 1,000-yard rushing season since 2019 in Carolina, the last time he had played a full season. And he was really productive in the pass-catching game as well. Caught 67 passes for 564 yards and 7 touchdowns. Those 7 receiving touchdowns, by the way, a career high. So even approaching 30 years old, well, actually, he's 28 years old. But even at that point, a year younger than Kamara, McCaffrey, with Kubiak last year, found that resurgence in his career. And so I really look and wonder, can this new zone blocking scheme, right, the outside zone that everyone talks about that Kubiak's trying to implement, will that benefit Kamara? Will that be more conducive for the Saints offensive line to be a more productive offensive line? I don't know. But do you want to take pressure off of a quarterback in Derek Carr, who there's a lot of questions about Derek Carr's effectiveness? Give him a good running game. Look at Brock Purdy. I don't mean to talk bad about Brock Purdy because, my goodness, the story's incredible, coming from being Mr. Irrelevant to taking San Francisco to a Super Bowl. But last year, San Francisco was the number 3 rush offense in the NFL, 140 yards per game. 1 and 2 were Baltimore and Chicago. And what do those two offenses have in common that San Francisco does not? Running quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson was the leading rusher for Baltimore. Justin Fields in Chicago was their second leading rusher. Yes, it helps when you have a quarterback that can make plays like that. Purdy ain't that guy. They got it through a traditional rushing offense, which is what the Saints are hoping they can do here. And again, if that happens, then you see the resurgence of AK. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. That's what you're hoping to see. It was so interesting, though. Jeff Duncan, our buddy over at NOLA.com, had a piece about that 2017 draft class, which this may very well be the last year that we ever see this draft, the members of this draft class as part of the Saints. Ryan, Al-Qadim Muhammad, Trey Hendrickson, Alex Anzalone, Marcus Williams, they're already gone. Lattimore and Kamara, their contracts, Saints could off-ramp after this year. Ramczyk could be done because of health. So this could be the last year that any of those guys from an amazing 2017 draft class are in New Orleans. And when you look at it, you look at the contracts those guys got. Lattimore, 5 years, $97.6 million. Ramczyk, 5 years, $96 million. Williams, 5 years, $70 million, but he got it from the Ravens. Kamara, 5 years, $75 million. Anzalone in Detroit got a 3-year, $18 million contract. Trey Hendrickson signed a 4-year, $60 million deal, and this year got a 1-year, $21 million contract. I mean, Al-Qadim Muhammad hasn't been a starter, but his career earnings are $11.55 million. I mean, it's going to be one of the maybe great regrets of this Saints organization is that class, that draft class. You were never able to win a championship with that class. This is going to be very likely the last year you have all of those guys together, unless Alvin Kamara has a giant resurgence. I think the Saints offense, or the defense, is going to be competent. They're going to be competent under Dennis Allen. Can the offense get up to speed? Well, a big part of that, something you'll very clearly be able to look at to tell if you're getting there, is Alvin Kamara's production in this new offense. We'll see if they can do it. But execs, coaches, and scouts clearly have their doubts about Alvin Kamara. He's not even inside the top 10. As a matter of fact, they would rank him as the 15th best running back in the NFL. Again, those are executives, coaches, scouts being given anonymity to rank the best at their position. And Kamara, rightfully, has fallen far down that list. Can Clint Kubiak find a resurgence? Giant question for the Saints this year in 2024. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.